Welcome back, 2CarGuys, to a special episode of 2CarGuys with Adam. So this week we are actually test driving the all-new McLaren Artura Spider. This is a world first test drive for the 2CarGuys. We'll give you a little insight as to what we think about the car and how we like driving it, and give you a little behind the scenes of driving the McLaren. So here we go. All right, 2CarGuys, here we go. So first drive in the McLaren Artura Spider. We've driven the Artura before, but the Spider's got a little bit more character because it's got no roof on it. So we're in manual mode currently, and I'll tell you what, this car feels a lot more refined than my 600 LT. You know, love having the top down because you get to hear that motor. Love having the top down because you get to hear that sound of the road too. But I'll tell you, this car's got plenty of power. We're in track mode right now, so we're using the manual instead of just the automatic. But man, what a car. Nice and smooth, sounds good. I definitely like the tech in this car a lot. It's not as raw as the 600 LT, but it's definitely quick. So a quick acceleration in the new Artura Spider. Again, it's still not as raw, but it feels more planted. It feels more solid than your traditional McLaren. A lot of it's because of the hybrid drive engine, right? So the hybrid drive is actually closing the power gap on the turbos. So you don't have that turbo lag like you do in some of the 600 LT and the 570S and those, you know, those models of the vehicle. But I tell you, it is really, really just a nice car to be in. And if you look at the power delivery, it's smooth, it's linear, it feels good. Big fan. All right, so one of the things I found out in the Artura that I really like is VDC, or variable drift control. So for those of you who know about this 720 and the 765, it's got the ability to control the level of drift that you have while driving the car. This Artura has that as well. Now, we're not in a place where I can enjoy drifting the car, or where I can really even drift the car, but having the option to do it is pretty cool. So one of the things I don't like about this car is the paddles. The paddles seem to be a lot smaller than they are in the 600 LT, and I'm missing a launch button. I don't know where the launch button is in this car. You know, how do you have a McLaren without having a launch button? But everything else about it I really, really like. I like the new display, I like the new gauges, I like the new dash, I like the way the interior is laid out. And even me, being 6'3", I'm comfortable in this car. I've got leg room, the seat can go back a little bit if it needed to, but really, really, really great car. All right, so one of my favorite things about this car has got to be the technology. If you look at the dash, you can see in here, you know, it's got a much clearer dash. You've got your power and your comfort, or your handling on each side, right where it's easy to get to with your fingers. The center stack is nice and easy to read, but it's just all around a really nice car, and having the roof off makes all the difference in the world. All right, so here we are. Probably the worst part about the test drive is having to sit in traffic. You know, it gives me a moment to sit here and really kind of take in the new layout of the Artura. You know, we've got navigation built into the driver's screen. We've got the gear that we're in. We've got the power. We have the RPMs. It gives me a moment to really take this in. The paddles on this car, I don't like them as much as I do on the 600 LT. And you know, there are a couple things. The 600 LT almost feels like it's got more space in it. This feels a little bit, I would say, almost more compact, but it's a really nice place to be. I mean, you can't complain about being in a McLaren, right? heat that comes off the back deck of this car is on another level. It seems to me that the chimney of this car funnels the heat upwards, and where you're going, it's fine. But when you're sitting in traffic like we're doing now, it's really kind of intense. So not exactly the best thing if you're going to be using it to drive around town. I bet there's a window that we can roll up between us and the back deck that would really help to eliminate or mitigate some of that heat. All right, quick special thanks to the folks over at McLaren Atlanta for getting us the opportunity to test drive this car. Great event, great food, great location. The people there were amazing. I'm really, really thankful that we were able to do this today. Secondhand, the car itself is really, really nice. It feels more refined than the previous gen McLarens. It definitely feels more modern and new, and I definitely like the linear power delivery. I don't think it sounds as good as the 600 LT or the 765 or the 720. I don't think there's any argument there. I will say that, you know, sitting in stop and go traffic, this car gets really hot, you know, and it seems to be with the top down, the wind is kind of bringing the heat into the cabin of the car. But I will say the air conditioning in here is second to none, so that probably doesn't matter. And then the only other thing I don't really like about the car is just kind of the startup process. When you start the car up, you know, it starts up in electric mode, and there's really nothing to tell you that the car's on or running or anything like that. So, you know, it's a little bit confusing, but I think once you live with the car for a while and get used to it, it might be fine. But I appreciate everybody giving us the opportunity to share this first drive with you. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and come back for more. Thanks again. See you on the next one.